There's much excitement in the artistic world about how it has never been more easy to create today than at any other point in history. With the advent of digital media and the widespread adoption of computers, tablets, and smartphones, there are countless tools either affordably within our reach or freely at our disposal, which allow artists to create new works in ways we could never have imagined even a decade ago. But are more tools really the answer to unlocking creativity? Or is it possible that our artistic output is being buried under an avalanche of gadgets filling up our creative toolboxes? I've been friends with and worked alongside artists of immense talent who, when completely focused on their craft, produced works of awe, beauty, and technical mastery. But over time, as they embraced the never-ending onslaught of new tools, I saw the output of some of these artists begin to diminish, to the point that I rarely see anything new from them at all. But how could this be? Shouldn't ease of creation be bolstered by the tools at our disposal? Shouldn't these technologies offer a shortcut along the path to our best work? In 1994, Trent Reznor released The Downward Spiral, the breakout hit of his band 9 Inch Nails. The writing process on this album had revolved largely around Reznor composing on guitar while playing to looped samples of Adrian Belew's guitar improvisations and the drumming of Stephen Perkins and Chris Vrenna. Apart from vocals, guitars, and acoustic drums, the album was written and recorded mostly using a small number of samplers, drum machines, and classic analog synthesizers. The incredible commercial success of this album resulted in a heightened fame like Reznor had never experienced before. With it came endless equipment endorsements from music instrument manufacturers and increased support from his record company, both of which gave him the freedom to basically do whatever he wanted. As he began work on his follow-up album, Reznor found himself with access to near infinite combinations of instruments and tools, and a budget which afforded much longer recording times using more powerful, multifaceted equipment. With this, Reznor added layers upon layers of sound, throwing everything plus the kitchen sink into the process. After 2+ years of recording, the double-length album The Fragile was released in September 1999, a full 5.5 years after the release of The Downward Spiral. While some fans and critics praised how ambitious the album was, many felt it to be bloated and lacking true lyrical substance and musical direction. It makes one ask, what could possibly have gone wrong? Reznor had everything he needed at his fingertips in terms of time, equipment, and musicians. For most artists, this type of situation would be a dream come true. Yet the end result did not live up to expectations. The well of inspiration from which we draw our creative spirit is only accessible when the path is clear. But if while we walk that path, we're distracted by every shiny tool and we engage with every person offering a new convenience, our artistic selves can very easily wither away and die of creative thirst along that path. The absolute freedom that comes from having every tool under the sun may get us new results, but absolute freedom doesn't equate to good results, let alone taking things to completion. In the wake of The Fragile and its subsequent tour, which included a near-fatal heroin overdose in the end, Trent Reznor checked himself into rehab. After getting out, Reznor abandoned the glut of equipment he had collected on his last outing and decided to go back to basics, using only piano, vocals, and one drum machine to write his next album. In fact, he found this approach to be much easier than his recent efforts. And over the course of a mere 3 months in late 2004, Reznor recorded and mixed 9 Inch Nails' 2005 follow-up album, With Teeth. This accelerated creative process allowed him to release his next 9 Inch Nails album, Year Zero, less than 2 years later in 2007, and follow that up by releasing 2 albums in 2008. Then, in 2010, in collaboration with musician and producer Atticus Ross, Reznor expanded his musical efforts into the world of film composition, co-writing the score for David Fincher's film The Social Network. This culminated in Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross winning the Oscar for Best Score at the 2011 Academy Awards. It's easy to fall prey to the idea that the more tools you have at your disposal, the easier it will be to create. In reality, many of the greatest artists in history are those who didn't need a vast array of tools to create masterworks. One might think that Pulitzer Prize-winning author Cormac McCarthy, whose novels No Country for Old Men and The Road were later turned into award-winning films, would have access to any typewriter or word processor he could dream of. However, over the course of his 50-plus-year career, he used the same Olivetti Latera 32 typewriter that he purchased from a Knoxville, Tennessee pawn shop in 1963. Annie Leibovitz is considered by many to be one of the greatest portrait photographers of all time. Like her contemporaries, in recent years, she's expanded her camera arsenal to include a number of digital cameras. But in the 1980s and 1990s, as she rose to the height of her prominence while working for Vanity Fair, she used primarily one camera model, the Mamiya RZ67. Queen guitarist Brian May has played the same guitar through his entire career, one that he built with his father when he was 16. And its sound has made him one of the few rock guitarists who are instantly identifiable by his guitar tone alone. Tools and technology bring so many conveniences to our artistic lives. And one should never be afraid to try out new instruments or new ways of working. There are many benefits to be found in the innovative advancements unleashed on the world 100 times a day. But the most important tool within an artist's toolbox is not one that can be picked up and played, is not one that can paint or make one look pretty, and is not one that can be purchased for any amount of money. The most important tool an artist can have is consistency. It is showing up, doing the work, and leaving all the distractions behind. Never forget that what made you an artist to begin with was not a desire to collect instruments or devices. It was the burning desire to express yourself creatively. It was an unyielding need to will beauty and meaning into this world. And no tool in the universe will ever amount to what is already inside of you, waiting to be held up to the light for the whole world to see. Thank you for watching this video. If you like what you've seen, smash the like button and be sure to click the notification bell so you won't miss any new content. If you enjoyed this video or found that it gave you a new way of looking at yourself, either personally or as an artist, please leave a comment in the comments section below. I learn a great deal from other people's perspectives, and I know that the comments you leave on this video will inspire me with new topics to discuss. You can also follow me on Instagram and TikTok for more content or to stay up to date. I look forward to you joining me the next time.